recording.
With some jam on these biscuits. Here we go.
Jam on the biscuits. Hi, welcome to the Offbeat Business Show. This is Susan Hamilton. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable lunch hour with us. I'm talking to Charlynn Johns today and introducing our latest partnership to get the most important resources that we possibly can out to the veteran community. And as you're aware, we believe that the Offbeat Business Show and magazine reaches a business-to-business audience that is the 80% of us, Charlynn. The family-owned businesses of 9 employees or less. That means we are raising our children, taking care of our seniors, dealing with addicts, and either directly impacted by the positive things a veteran has brought to the table or helping them reintegrate after deployment. So it is really an important thing that we reach out to this particular group of people, and I'm so thrilled with what you've done with Battle-Buddy.info. Tell us all about that, Charlynn.
Well, I will. Battle-Buddy.info, which is our website, is an online, it's a Yelp-style directory or Angie's List. And what I mean by that is that you can find the content that you're looking for presented in a consistent way, as well as you can review the organization. So we are the only one that you can review if an organization has helped you. We also, the other big thing that makes us unique is we were designed by military and their caregivers for military and their caregivers. So it's a very stripped down, very simple, consistent looking site. We do not have any donate now. Here's the 15 reasons why you need to donate for PTSD or suicide or emergency. It is for the end users and not the donors or to get more donors. We are not a 501c3. We are the military initiative of a 501c3. And that allows us to keep that site strictly for the users. We don't charge anybody to list them. We don't generate any revenue on the site. It's just so people can go to the site, just like a directory, like I said, Yelp or Angie's List, find what they need, and then if there is a particular form or application, all the eligibility requirements are on our site up front. If there's a form that they need to fill out, let's say for a service dog or emergency financial assistance, the link directly to that form is on our site. So they don't have to go to that site and then read 15 pages of content to find out, oh wait, where do I apply? Because websites, I've been in the nonprofit business for over 18 years. I know it's about the money, but when you're trying to assist people, you've got to get them the assistance they need as quick as they need it. So that's kind of what our goal has been, and we've been live for over a year. We have over 75,000 hits on our website, which is tremendous.
It really is.
And we're just like a little grassroots engine that could. We're going to keep going and keep
Engine
going.
that can.
Engine that can.
Engine that can.
Absolutely.
So you saw a need out there and you were inspired to say, you know what, let's cut the garbage because we've got way too much, what I call spider webbing when it comes to these resources and all the bureaucratic red tape and the hoops we've got to jump through to get things done. So what amazed me about this list of resources, Charlynn, is the vast stretch. I mean, there's really nothing you haven't included. What do you think your total is now? Do you know how many you've got resources on the site?
We have over 500 resources, but we vet the resources. And what I mean by that is not looking at 990s and to see how much money is going where. Our resources are listed because they have provided directly to a veteran, and a veteran or caregiver has recommended them to our site.
Wonderful.
Or at this point, because of our position in social media, organizations connect with us and say, hey, how do we get listed on BattleBuddy? And I explain to them we don't charge for anything, but there has to be a clear communication of who needs to apply, if there's funding, how the eligibility is met, so that when we refer someone to that site, they can get the help they need. It's very clear. It's not like they have to wait 2 weeks and then find out, oh, they only help Marines, or oh, they only help if you're still active duty, or oh, so there's so many eligibility issues, and I totally understand that. I mean, again, I've been in the nonprofit world. I understand you have to narrow your scope.
But we just don't have time for that, and largely that's what we see. We see that when we're in business and we're faced with a crisis or something that needs to be addressed and answered right away, largely why we become victims of our circumstance, which I don't believe any of us have to be. That's why the Offbeat Business Show and Magazine exists, and that's why BattleBuddy.info exists, I promise
Absolutely.
you. We don't have to be victims of our circumstance, but we do have to be good stewards of the information and the resources at our fingertips and do the very best we can. When you go to the trouble, when you see what's happening in this hamster wheel in our business, we don't have time to really look at the things that are directly hurting us. I mean, really, don't you hear people say all the time, oh, if they would just change everything, if they would make it better. You know, we've got this great big they problem out there, and I believe they is us. Let's go ahead and take some of that responsibility and wisely put it out there, so that it's not so freaking difficult to get what you need. Like you said, if they're having to fill out form after form after form and wait 2 weeks before they get an answer, only to find out that it didn't work, how much time have you just wasted? And I'm here to tell you, I know what that means in business. That takes away your ability to focus. You're really working at a partial capacity, because this other issue is really huge and it needs addressing. And you see issues of every scope. What would you say are some of the things that you'd like to bring to our audience's attention, and maybe something that's near and dear to your heart?
Well, let me just interject on something that you commented on, is that the military culture is trained to suck it up, buttercup, and move on. And so for them to ask for help is a huge hurdle. For them to accept help is a huge hurdle.
Wow.
So the point when their caregiver or the soldier himself is actually seeking assistance, it's a 911 issue. Nobody other than 911 operates with that sense of emergency. Hence, you have the extraordinary, catastrophic number of suicides in the military today. I was just looking up, and I posted it on our Facebook page. I started working with the military in 2008, and through our nonprofit, we were doing warrior getaways. I have a faith-based ministry, and we were doing getaways for the entire family. This was not being done there was lots of activities for the military and wounded warriors, but there was not something that included the whole family with their children.
It's so necessary. I feel the same way about even reentry field. How do you solve one problem
if you're not addressing
the whole thing?
if you're not doing it in a holistic way. So when this was happening, and I'm hearing all these stories from the caregivers, from the soldiers, from the kids, Time Magazine in March of 2011, the cover of Time Magazine was a lone soldier silhouette on the hill. That the title of the magazine cover, national, 1 a day. Okay, that was 2011. Now, fast forward to March of 2015. The government is owning 22 suicides a day at this point, which Texas doesn't. Texas is one of the states that doesn't even segregate veteran population in their suicide reports. So it's actually, and we have the third highest number of military personnel in our state.
Curious.
So all that being said, this big number that keeps getting thrown around from time to time, 22 a day or 22 plus 1, which includes active duty, isn't even the true number. Now, so when you take into consideration, okay, let's just give it 22 a day or 23 a day. Yeah. And then you say that one person has 11 direct individuals that are impacted by anything they do, good or bad. So now you multiply that 23 times 11 times 365, you get over 90,000 individuals that are impacted by lack of resources. And that can include mental health resources. That can include emergency assistance resources. That can include, PTSD awareness, help, all those things, because they are truly the internally displaced persons of this generation of soldiers who went to war. So internally displaced persons, because our ministry worked in the third and fourth world, I'm very familiar with internally displaced persons. I came back to the United States, started working with soldiers, and saw the disconnect between their culture and the civilian culture. And it was like, wait a minute, they were cut off from their tribe, being the military. Just like you see, internally displaced persons are people that are forced to leave their tribal natural comfort area and put into a completely different foreign environment that they're comfortable with or used to or know how to operate. So they encounter the same kind of, dysregulating behaviors, and then coupled with many times catastrophic injuries. So they're not the typical person that gets injured in a car wreck that had a 9-to-5 job, or that had these, that had a normal, typical civilian kind of life, family, community.
When they're returning after a crisis, they're returning to something that's a stable and a familiar thing. And in the military, the familiarity has become something else.
It's gone.
Right? They're familiar with a different. So there's a difference. Their familiarities over here and communities over here,
and it's gone.
And they're having trouble with that.
It's absolutely gone.
And I'm seeing some wonderful groups out there that are helping with using animals.
Oh, absolutely.
Really,
there's a lot of different kinds of assistance that is unique and that is working, that is documented to be effective in those arenas. But I mean, IAVA, which is Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, it's one of the largest associations, national presence, big advocates for that group of communities. I work with veterans here in Dallas all the time, and I say, well, post 9/11 veterans, I say, are you a member of IAVA? Never even heard of it.
Right. I just heard of it 2 days ago.
And I was like, you're a post 9/11 veteran. How do you not know the biggest organization?
My daughter is a Marine, and I didn't know.
Yeah. So there again, because there's a disconnect between the civilian population and the military population, they don't know who to ask, and we don't know who to tell to get it out there. So we're really fighting hard to say the resources are out there. We're going to try to make it as easy as possible to get you the help you need.
I love that.
We're going to try to make it to connect with you to where you know you're being heard, you know you're not alone. We're going to get you connected with the military that's transitioning into your civilian communities to where you're not this untethered, valuable, productive person of society that's just a little bit disenfranchised at the time. So it's a big, daunting task, but every day, we hear from veterans all across the country that are like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was out there available. I didn't know this was out there available. So that's our goal, and we're going to see it stopped.
Well, friends, I hope you're enjoying this conversation with Charlynn Johns with Battle-Buddy.info as much as I am. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the types of resources that Battle-Buddy.info offers for the veteran community, and make some more connections for you to understand why we think that's so important for that to be talked about and shared on a business-to-business platform. This is Susan Hamilton. This is the Offbeat Business Show, and we'll be right back.
How do you spell it?
CHARLYNN